Good morning, friends. Welcome back to You're Not Alone. And isn't that the most beautiful intro song? You're Not Alone. I'll wait till the end of time for you. I love it. It's so appropriate. And you are not alone. We are not alone. And yeah, in this part of the world, we're all a little scared. And we're all a little scared together. By now, we all know of someone that has experienced loss. You've experienced loss. I've experienced loss. And yeah, it's a difficult time. So we're going to be exploring some techniques for dealing with our broken pieces. Remember the broken pieces? We took apart a bowl the other day. And yesterday we had Hermine, who was absolutely phenomenal. Her wisdom, her energy, her light was outstanding. And what a champion! What a champion of mental health and mental fitness. I mean, she's just a shining example of what we can be. So it was really beautiful and really quite special to have her on yesterday. Before we get into our session today, I'd like to just encourage a few deep breaths. And I know I normally just do a normal breathing technique, but today I'd like to repeat what I've been doing. Is just take your right hand and put it on your heart wherever you are. And yeah, put it on your heart. And our heart is maybe grieving. Our heart is maybe sore. Our heart is maybe broken. Our heart is maybe anxious, worried, afraid. Whatever your heart is feeling today, I encourage you just to rest your hand on your heart. And it's a symbol of solidarity. And just by doing this, there's a chemical that gets released in your brain called oxytocin, which is a love chemical. Just by showing your heart some love can actually produce a feeling of love in your body. Isn't that beautiful? Great. So let's just breathe through that heart space, taking in a lovely deep breath through the nostrils, breathing in and filling up your heart. Once again, recharging the heart and slowly exhaling out the mouth. Anything that is not serving you today, anything that's holding you back. Breathing in again, breathing into the heart. How much can your heart hold today? And exhaling any limiting beliefs or self-doubt. It's times like these that we learn to love again. Breathing into the heart. Filling up and slowly releasing. Let's just do one more big breath. And deep breaths are like little love notes to your nervous system, little body hacks. Breathing in. I fill up my heart. Hold it there. And as you breathe out, send peace and healing into the world. Dropping your hand down. Taking a moment just to introspect. Peace and healing for yourself. Not forgetting. Blinking the eyes open. Well done. Well done to you. And we have a wonderful community developing here for You Are Not Alone. A great project with the NHRS and Mindful Revolution here for you because you are not alone, okay? You are not alone. We are all in this together. And because we're not alone, I want to hear from you. I'd love to, there's a little exercise I'm going to share with you. It's called a mood meter. And we normally do this with children, especially if they're nervous to go to school in the mornings. But I thought we could do it together as a community. So you know where the Q&A is here. And I'd love you to find a word that just sums you up today. And might be a different word from what it was yesterday. So I'm just going to zoom in a little so you can see all these words. You can see here, there's high energy, pleasant. There's high energy, unpleasant. There's low energy, unpleasant, low energy, pleasant. And there may be one word or there may be two words to describe how you feel. Perhaps there's a word that's not on here that you're looking for. perhaps, yeah, for me, I must be honest, I'm worried. The numbers are not looking good in terms of the infection rates. I know with Namibia, it's a big worry at the moment. I am worried, but at the same time, I'm motivated because I feel that at this time, this is the time that I've been practicing for. This is the time that I've been building up for in my life, and it's actually here. And I feel motivated because I can be of benefit to others in the best way. So, what words or word sticks out for you today? You can see the yellow is obviously the happy, high energy, and the red is unpleasant, stunned, irate, furious, enraged, panicked, livid. There's low energy feelings, exhausted, apprehensive, guilty, ashamed, sullen. That's a word I haven't heard in a long time. Sullen. Are you perhaps sullen today? Low energy, pleasant, just relaxed, calm, safe, content, thoughtful, mellow, at ease, thankful, peaceful, balanced, restful, serene. Is this where you find yourself today? So just choosing one or two of those words. And I'd love to hear from you. If you're listening to the recording, then obviously you can't pop it in to the Q&A, but just to introspect a little bit and find out what is that word for you. It's important for you to find that word for yourself, because if you know that you are feeling terrified or frightened, today might not be a good day for you to handle big assignments or courageous conversations. When we're in that fight or flight mode, we are not going to be our best, and to recognize that is okay. And a lot of my friends say, today I'm having a duvet day. And then they decide they're not, they're just going to look after themselves. They don't have to do anything. They're just going to hide under the covers. And if that's where you are today, then that is totally okay. Then that is totally okay. So I'm going to come into the Q&A now and just have a little look-see and see how we're doing today and what words that you actually chose. Great. So yeah, and it's wonderful to see you all joining. We've got a lovely attendance today, so thank you everybody for attending. Pop that word in. If there wasn't a word for you that you found in the mood meter, then just generally, how are you feeling? So I'm seeing anonymous is low energy. I'm apprehensive. Another one saying I feel relaxed and I feel cheerful. Wow, in the midst of the storm. Thank you for that ray of sunlight. Davy is feeling exhausted today. Thanks, Davy, for that. Dominique, deflated, feeling deflated. Thanks, Dominique. Today I feel worried and I feel anxious, says Anonymous. And I feel you and I hear you, and I too, we all are scared and uneasy. Someone published uneasy. I feel uneasy. Yeah, the duvet day. The duvet day. I've even done a session in my pajamas. I kid you not. That might be coming maybe sooner than later. Low energy despair, says Bernadette. There we go, Bernadette. I'm holding space for you today. I feel worried and I feel anxious. I'm sad and I'm worried and I'm sad. And there's a lot of sadness going on. And you know what the weird thing is? When we're sad, people can get annoyed with us for feeling sad, right? Which is also weird. Anonymous, feeling better for seeing him. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I feel relaxed and motivated, says Lena. Wonderful. Wonderful. So there's a lot of mixed feelings. There's a lot of mixed emotions that are going on today. And you know, we're sitting with those broken pieces, remember, from the bowl. I've been smashing bowls. I don't know if you have. And it's okay to be with our brokenness. And a lot of the time people will say, oh, you'll get over it. You'll move on. Try this, try that. But sometimes it's just okay to be with those broken pieces. So what broken pieces have we been sitting with? Remember those broken pieces. And taking those broken pieces that I've been playing with and actually putting them together, actually gluing them back together. Do you see this bowl? It's not perfect. It's been cracked, it's been broken, but I somehow managed to glue it back together. It'll never be the same. It has scars, it has lines. And there's an ancient Japanese art form called Kintsugi, okay? And where they had started to piece back broken pieces with pride, and they exhibit them, and they're proud of them. They say, look at this broken vase. And it comes back from many, many hundreds of years that they've been doing it. And I must say, I've been doing a lot of it. I've been piecing back pieces of broken pieces, putting them together, and realizing that this bowl will never be the same. But look at how beautiful it can be, actually. And as I look at it, I think of hard times in life, the times when we've been knocked. Remember, the hammer came and just knocked us, And I remember there was a time in my life in 1994, long time ago, when I lost my father to suicide. And then a month later, my girlfriend left me because I was an emotional wreck. That was a tough year, and I was really broken. And then in 2017, I found out my business partner was stealing from me and put me into big problems with tax. I was the managing director of my own company, and I walked out. That was a hard year for me. I was so stressed. I landed up in the emergency room twice. My wife had to take me. Those were tough times. What years, my friends, what years were when you felt broken? And maybe it's now. Maybe your broken time is now. Maybe this is the hardest year that you're going through. But if there's a particular year that stands out for you, put it in the Q&A. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear about. I'd love to hear about that. Shame. I'm sorry. There's someone that says, I just want to cry. I feel overwhelmed. Elena's saying, I feel scared and worried. Sorry. I'm sorry. So, and I appreciate your honesty so much. Everybody has a story, and we are feeling it right now. And looking at this bowl and looking back at a time in my life when I was broken, I started to pick up the pieces. I put the pieces back together. I found some glue, this glue, and slowly I put the pieces back together. And there was so much that changed me. Do you think that you would be the same person if you never experienced loss and grief? Think about the loss and grief that you've experienced in your life. Do you think you'd be the same person you are now? Do you think you'd be the same person? Ethel is saying, 2013, I lost my mom. Ethel, do you think you're the same person? I bet you're not. 2020 and 2018, I'm so glad I got over it, says Anonymous. 2003, I lost my partner. 2019 and 20 could not pay my daughter's university when she was in London. That's a broken piece right there. 2008, I'm feeling lonely. I only have these sessions at the moment. Thank you, says Anonymous. Thank you for being here, Anonymous. 2012, 2013, struggled with depression so bad that I wanted to take my own life. Thank you for your honesty and your vulnerability in saying that. 2019, when I nearly lost my son. 2009, 2016, 2017, the hardest years for me. Maureen, my husband, passed away on the 25th of June. This past week was a terrible week for me. I'm so sorry. I'm worrying about when this will end. 2010 was my worst. Gosh, there's just so much. But look at yourselves. Look at yourselves. Look at yourselves. Look at these years when you were completely broken. Look at this time when you were completely smashed and completely broken. Look at that time. You're here. You made it. You are here. You made it. And isn't that incredible? Isn't that remarkable that somehow you managed to put yourself back together? Somehow you found the glue. Like I've got this glue here. Where did the glue go? There we go, the glue. This is the glue. Somehow we did it, and we will do it again. We will do it again. We will definitely do it again. I want to introduce you to an incredible psychologist. There's no one on the session with me today, but it's this man is no longer alive. It's been a huge inspiration in my life. And I just love this image of this woman holding her heart. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't she beautiful? Looking at those broken pieces, that's what we've been looking at. And here is the art of Kintsugi, piecing back the broken pieces. And the broken time, the year that almost completely broke you. We've just gone through that reflection. Here is Dr. Viktor Frankl. Have you ever heard of Viktor Frankl? A wonderful Jewish psychologist that was in the Nazi concentration camp during the Second World War. And you can imagine how tough life was then to be in a concentration camp. And Dr. Viktor Frankl was working, he was watching, he was learning how people were reacting in this terrible terrible hell space. And he found that there were some people that had a special energy, that had a special power. And these people were people that had hope. Hope. H-O-P-E, hope. They had hope. And they had a dream, and they said, Victor, when I get out of this place, I'm going to find my wife. I'm going to start up my business. I'm going to look for my kids. I'm going to start a new life. And Victor also had purpose because he was thinking, when I get out of here, I'm going to publish my work. I'm going to stand in front of a large audience, and I'm going to talk about this. And he did, and he survived. And his friends that had hope, they also survived. They were the ones in the middle of winter, they were the ones that would take their shoes off and give it to their friend that had no shoes, that were crying. But yet they survived when their friend died. And they found that the people that gave up hope, they were sent to the gas chambers because they just gave up. They had no energy. They had no strength. They just stopped eating. They stopped moving. And then they were sent away. But those that had hope, they survived. They carried on, unless they were lucky. So there's a message from the darkest hell this today, that we must not give up hope, that we must find some sort of meaning in this time, in this really dark time. So looking at the glue, friends, using a glue, a meaningful glue, we're gluing back the pieces. What did you do? I know you've put there that some years were the worst years, where you lost your partner, you couldn't pay, you had no money, finances, you were depressed, you were down. What was the glue? How did you put yourself back together? And I know you're not perfect, and I know you're cracked and you're broken, but yet there is still the glue. What was the glue? Was it listening to music? Was it work? Did you spend more time with friends and family? Did you maybe isolate or create boundaries? Did you exercise more? Did you take refuge in your spiritual practices or your church? Did you attend professional counseling or online support? I guess this is what this is. Were you involved with group discussions and forums? Or maybe did we eat too much and drink too much to cope with the disaster that we were in? How did you glue back the pieces? I'd love to hear from you once again. Please, I'm loving your engagements, because I know that I am not alone and you are not alone. So what is the glue? What is the glue that puts you back together? Coming back to your chats, just to have a look and see, what is the glue? What was the glue? How did you get through that time? Because if you got through that time, well, then we're going to get through this time. Nadine saying the glue was by far and wide Jesus. Beautiful. Jesus, what a message in this dark time, right? Thank you for sharing that, Nadine. We will survive, says Anonymous. Yes. Ethel saying, I'm not the same. I've healed through healing. It's in phases, but I'm in a better space than before. Wow, Ethel, that is a very encouraging message. Very, very encouraging message. So thank you so much for that. How did you survive? How did you put yourself back together? And just looking at this beautiful bowl, having a, I'm going to just play something for you now, just some background soft music. I hope you can hear me beautifully. There we go. There we go. So it was prayer, it was worship, it was music, it transformed my life, it gave me hope. Thank you so much for that. I cried, I went through depression, I isolated, I went for therapy, I spoke about it, and I came to the realization and stopped living in denial. How beautiful. I walked every morning and I exercised more and more. My parents and my daughter, she was born in 2013. They were my glue. Psychologist and spiritual refuge, says Dominique. Loving the glue. God is my glue. Spend time and I talk to my family. Friends, more valuable than family, says Bernadette. My glue is faith. Being honest with myself and saying I'm not okay. Belief in God and prayer. Looking at pictures and treasure the memories. There's the glue. And having studied this art form, this Japanese art form of Kintsugi, I can take the cracks and I can take the broken pieces, and I've got a paintbrush. And the beautiful thing is to paint in the cracks. You see there, the gold. And that's what you do. You slowly look at all the cracks and you realize you put the glue in there and you start to make meaning out of it. You start to fill those cracks with gold. And it's a map of all that you've been through. Every crack, every beautiful line of golden paint that you can paint into those cracks is a story, and it's a story of your resilience, and it's a story of what makes you you, because your family and your friends, they love you because of you and how you put yourself back together, the glue that you used, and how you've made meaning out of your suffering. That's what makes it special. Like Viktor Frankl, coming out of the concentration camp, making meaning and painting those beautiful gold into the cracks, becoming extremely purposeful in his life. So let's take a moment to take a deep breath once again, friends. Let's breathe in and slowly exhaling out the mouth. Breathing normally. Imagine that your body, it's not perfect. Nobody's body is. That our body is being cracked and broken. Just imagine all those cracks, and we pieced ourselves back together. Parts of our mind, parts of our health. Thinking of the glue that we used, if it was faith, if it was family, if it was our spiritual practice, our meditations, our exercise, what was it? As we breathe, we fill those cracks with gold. Imagine a golden breath filling the cracks, making sense and some sort of purpose of our suffering, of what we've been through. You are more beautiful because you have been broken. Who hasn't been broken? Relax your mind, relax your heart. It may be difficult to find something that will put us back together now, and it's okay. There's no rush. Take your time. But it's good just to stop and take a deep breath once in a while. And perhaps some clarity will arise as to what to do next. Because everything is a bit foggy, unclear. But don't worry, an answer will come. You are not alone. Let's take a deep breath once again, breathing in and exhaling out the mouth. Just let it go. And gently opening your eyes. There we go. So Susan is saying, personally, I'm still going through the healing process as I just lost my mom on the 4th of May, spending time with family and exercise. Susan's sitting with her broken pieces, gluing herself back together slowly. And Susan, there will be meaning and purpose only that you can give to your experience. And as Frankel said, that will be the energy that will drive us forward. To embrace life once again. So perhaps your homework was that you broke your bowls or your vase. You're gluing it now back together. And you got some glue, hopefully some golden paints that you can paint into those cracks and put that bowl or that vase in a prominent place in your house and look at it and feel pride. Pride that you can and will recover. You have recovered and you will recover. To give yourself space every day to acknowledge that. If you have a journal, write down in the journal the times that you recovered and how you recovered. And perhaps there were things that we forgot about. I say, oh yeah, there was a song or there was a park that I used to go to, or yeah, I'll do that again. Let's find a practice. Let's develop a ritual in our life. What is it for you? What is the thing you enjoy? Let's harvest joy. Joy is all around us. Even in the midst of despair, we can still find it. Let's harvest it. Friends, it's been wonderful to be with you today. We have a special guest tomorrow. I'm not going to let out the surprise, but please join us again. It's lovely to see you all. And oh yes, don't forget to check the recording. All the sessions are recorded so that you can revisit them. You can share them with your friends and your family, and provide some sort of support and relief at this time. I know that there are some people who's sharing it as a message to their friend in hospital who's lying in there on a hospital bed or in ICU. That makes my heart so happy to know that this can spread and we can obviously be of benefits to others, be of meaning and purpose at this time. Thank you, friends. Our time is now run over. I will see you tomorrow. Please take care of yourselves. Be safe. Maintain your health and your happiness, and breathe some peace into your heart. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.